And he is not elitist at all. I just hope you all get to know him more and more as a person and a family man, and what he's been able to accomplish, and with his, it's kind of this quiet generosity. Yeah, maybe his largesse kind of, I don't know, some would say gets in the way of that quiet generosity and his compassion. But if you know him as a person, and you'll get to know him more and more, you'll have even more respect, not just for his record of success and the good intentions for America, but who he is as a person.
Tony, you have spoken out, positive things about Ted Cruz. Are you reconsidering? Are you now still thinking about Donald Trump when you hear things like Sarah Palin just said about him as a person?
Well, I've not made an endorsement in the race and have not decided. I mean, look, to Ralph's point, I do think that this is an important endorsement for Trump. I don't know about the gold faucets in Trump Towers, never seen them. But I think for evangelical conservative voters, I think there's some value here. Now, how important will this endorsement be? Obviously, I think who you ask. If you're the one getting the endorsement, it's extremely important. If you're the one not getting it, it's not as important. But I think for those voters who are still on the fence, I think it has an effect. Although what we're seeing happening is more and more voters are choosing their sides, and that obviously comes down to the caucus day. But I think she could be very helpful for him in getting unattached voters or undecided voters at this point.
Ben Ferguson, what do you think? You've been, very vocally positive Ted Cruz. How big of a deal is this for Donald Trump?
Well, I think it's a big deal specifically today after the issues that he had at Liberty University. This changes the conversation, and he had a problem with many evangelicals today when he was quoting 2 Corinthians. And I think bringing Sarah Palin
you mean because he didn't know
is
2
going to
Corinthians is how you refer to it, is what you're saying, right? That was okay.
Right, and there's a lot of evangelicals that said that is the worst form of pandering that they've ever seen in the Republican Party during a primary. And I think this is going to help change that narrative. The other perk here for this is, look, if for some reason he ever calls the Second Amendment to amendment, Sarah Palin can bail him out on guns as well, so he's got a perk there with her as well. I just don't think that voters, however, are going to jump all of a sudden from Ted Cruz or another candidate into this. They're smart voters. That's one of the things that people always seem to underestimate. Iowa voters are very well educated and smart, and they usually do not respond in a major way to endorsements. Yes, it's going to help him. Yes, it changes the headline, but I don't know if it's somehow going to massively turn this race upside down, and I don't think it's going to turn it upside down moving forward after Iowa. I think this is an Iowa, kind of big endorsement, and then after this, it's just going to be Sarah Palin on the bus with him.
So, Katrina, how excited are you? Did Ben pour enough water on your parade here, or do you really think this is going to be a game changer for you?
No, I'd just like to point out to Ben, though, it won't be a bus, it'll be on the plane. But I will say that anyone who discounts the endorsement of Sarah Palin really doesn't understand the function of the grassroots. She has a very strong base of support, and they trust her. When she endorses someone, that matters, and it has mattered in several races, like you've just heard. This endorsement isn't just important because it's Sarah Palin, but this is also after the endorsement of Phyllis Schlafly, another woman that is highly respected and highly regarded in the pro-life circles and in the conservative circles alike. This is a big day for Donald Trump.
All right, so there was something else I want to say. She was very colorful with her language and salty, as she is. Her fans find it endearing. Her haters find it awful. She talked about, quote-unquote, kicking ISIS's ass. She said no more pussyfooting around. And here's what she had to say about what's going on in the Middle East with jihad.
We're calling jihad on each other's heads forever and ever. Like I've said before, let them duke it out and let Allah sort it out. We'll fight for American interests.
So, Tony, is that going to resonate beyond the evangelical community, or is that going to turn people off?
Well, this is a different election cycle where I think she did tap in, as you were talking earlier, about the anti-establishment. People are fed up with politics as usual, and that includes both Democrat and Republican. And I think she was really reaching to that group that goes beyond evangelicals. Although evangelicals, and this is what I think attracted him to Donald Trump so much, is that he is refusing to be silenced by political correctness. And if there's a segment in society today that is attacked every time they speak something, called bigots or whatever, haters, it's evangelicals. So I think they're connecting with him over the fact that he refuses to be silenced. Even if they may not agree with him on everything, they agree with the fact that he's standing up and speaking what he believes. And they like that. It's refreshing.
Katrina, Ralph, Ben,
Aaron,
Tony, thank you all.